Imagine a world where the most insidious propaganda isn't blasted from loudspeakers or plastered on posters, but smuggled onto the silver screen, right under the noses of unsuspecting American audiences. That's right, folks. While the Nazis were busy losing a war, they somehow found time to infiltrate Hollywood. Because nothing says global domination like a poorly dubbed melodrama playing in some backwater theater in Nebraska. The idea that the Third Reich secretly churned out propaganda films for American consumption sounds like the fever dream of a conspiracy theorist who's had one too many viewings of the producers. But believe it or not, the Nazis actually tried it, and like most of their plans, it didn't exactly go as intended. See, the German film industry under Goebbels was a well-oiled propaganda machine, churning out everything from blatant anti-Semitic hate fests like Jud Süß to sappy romantic dramas where the heroine's greatest joy was knitting socks for the Wehrmacht. But the notion that these films somehow slithered into American cinemas, brainwashing audiences between showings of Casablanca and Gone with the Wind, is, how do we put this delicately, hilariously overblown? For one thing, American audiences weren't exactly clamoring for films where the big climax was a rousing speech about the glories of autarky. And let's be honest, if a Nazi propaganda reel had somehow made it into a US theater, the most likely reaction would have been laughter, followed by a collective, "What the hell was that?" The average moviegoer in the 1940s was there to escape reality, not get a lecture on the finer points of Lebensraum. But the real kicker, the Nazis were terrible at subtlety. Their idea of covert messaging was about as subtle as a jackboot to the face. If they had managed to sneak propaganda into American theaters, it would have been glaringly obvious, probably featuring a heroic SS officer rescuing a blonde maiden from the clutches of a hook-nosed villain while a choir sang The Horsed Vessel Lied in the background. In the end, the only real Nazi Hollywood was the one in Goebbels' delusional fantasies, where American audiences would weep at the sight of a Hitler Youth member tenderly petting a deer before marching off to die for the fatherland. Spoiler alert, it didn't happen. The closest the Nazis got to winning over American hearts and minds was when Charlie Chaplin mocked them in The Great Dictator. And even that probably gave Goebbels an aneurysm. So did the Third Reich secretly manipulate American cinema? Not unless you count Leni Riefenstahl's Olympia playing at an obscure film society meeting. The real propaganda victory belonged to Hollywood, which pumped out films that made Nazis look like the mustache-twirling villains they were, while also, let's be honest, making a tidy profit off the whole thing. Some things never change.